We're sitting here in a room full of people who are all professional marketing communicators, one kind or another. How is this stuff going to make their life different? Is it going to make their life different?
Well, as I said before, I think it's going to be the ability to sort of hyper-target market individuals. It's going to be a dream for your typical marketer, you know. And there's all this accountability, like you'll have instant viewer validation, as Carl was talking about this morning. You know, you'll know the person is watching that ad at that time, so you'll have all that stuff down, and that's a dream. The other thing, but the problem is that people are going to pay to get rid of your conventional 30-second spots. I mean, this whole thing about like getting a quarter for watching the ads, things like that, is not really going to work, I don't think. It won't work for me, and I don't think it'll work for a lot of people. And I'd love to pay to not be interrupted in my programming with conventional spots. But as I said before, I would be interested in having channels, infomercial channels that I could go to only when I wanted to look at a very, a specific line of products in a very straight way. And I'd also be interested in seeing, maybe a creative advertising channel that was like MTV for great ads, and watching that occasionally when I wanted to. But so I just think that the creative people are going to have to change the way they write the formats, and that's about it. But in terms of like the demographics, psychographics, all those stats that'll be available to you, it'll be incredible. I mean, you'll have these people down. You'll know like when they get up, when they go jogging, whether they have a dog or a cat, all that stuff. It'll be ridiculous. So you're loving it.
I think that there's a whole genre that can be created around a particular corporate identity. I think that I might just as well want to spend an evening in, let me see, Liz Claiborne world, as I would want to see some of the programming on television. I think that can be extremely exciting.
Yeah, Andrew?
I just one response to Lisa's thing. I personally, and I'm sure this is not true for maybe the majority of Americans, but I personally would find nothing more terrifying than spending an evening watching company TV. To me, that would be like going to the Epcot Center in Disney World and entering like the wide world of Chrysler, where all these sort of nice voices talk to you about like how wonderful Chrysler is and everything it does for the world. And I mean, I just think that's sort of nightmarish. It's sort of like going through that Disney World ride. It's a small world after all, with all these little kids all going, it's a small world after all. I mean, it just sort of frightens me. It's like everything that might be slightly scary about the Japanese notion of like the extreme patriotism that goes into working or being part of a company, where you sing a company hymn in the morning and stuff like that. Yes, that may be great for productivity, but to me that's a little dehumanizing and a little too blurry. I mean, it's blurring the lines between religion and capitalism, religion and company patriotism too much for my taste. I would never watch something like that. When I said that I want something like the infomercial for if I'm looking for a car, I want minimum BS from that guy. I want the guy to be in a suit or in like a mechanic's uniform. I want him to be walking through the product. I want the stats all up there. I want the consumer reports. I don't want like company hymns. I don't want like exciting graphics out of that stuff, because I'll see through that stuff to begin with.
Well, I disagree with you. No, I mean, obviously you're entitled to your opinion, and I'm not saying.
Well, thank you.
I'm not saying that every Monday at 9 p.m. I want to watch Liz Claiborne World. But what I am saying is that I think that I might be wanting to have, or willing to have, or open to have a different relationship with a supplier than I've had before. In fact, I might come to expect a different relationship with that supplier. I might want to feel that they related to me more than the simple print ad that I've been used to seeing, or even, a simple TV commercial.
I take more issue with the sort of the corporate image world, like the Disney World of Liz Claiborne, with lots of like symbols, icons, schmoozing, company hymns, etc. Lots of image stuff. And
I never said company hymns.
Okay. That's just sort of a nightmarish extrapolation from what I meant. You're not too far-fetched, so.
Actually, wait a second. When you think about it, excuse me, but I'm not the generation that walks around with somebody's label on my breast,
Nor I.
My kids, more your age, are the ones who insist upon having somebody on their rear end, somebody up here.
That's a chicken egg question, though. Who told us to want that? The people out in the audience.
Advertising works.
Yeah, advertising does work sometimes.
Okay, Bruce?
Sure.